Marita, how did you find carnivore?
Yeah, hi, Dave. Um, I really uh, thought or mentioned carnivore conscious. That was last year about May, but I'm pretty sure I heard about this before, but I never took this serious because I thought it's just strange and I don't know if this is healthy and. Of course, all the things other people think too. You might get a heart attack. It's saturated fat, whatever. But last year in May, I thought about it a little bit more serious, and the way I realized it was because I was looking for some recipes about keto. So I wanted to do a kind of keto diet to lose weight. And I thought, so just look what recipes you can find. And suddenly, like YouTube is, it shows you everything which could be for an interest. And so I started to watch something like that. And I think what impressed me the most was Michaela Peterson. I think that's her name. And it was just unbelievable, this health journey she had and what she struggled with. So, of course, then after I watched this, I saw more videos, more things, got more into it, and I finally made up my mind. Okay, I just do this 30 days challenge and try to eat meat or animal products for 30 days because I knew keto is similar. It's a kind of I say it in German or hardcore keto, you can say. So it's zero carbs almost. So and I just thought, why not? There might not happen anything bad, and if I feel strange, of course I can switch every day. So it's not a problem. So that was the way how I find or how I found carnivore. And the reason why I looked for keto and finally did carnivore was just to lose weight. And this is a story I think most people tell. So I too struggled with my weight all my life through. I had a kind of lucky childhood. So there I was underweight as far as my parents told me. And they were always worried I should gain weight. And the funny thing is, this is what I remember or know through tellings of my parents that they said, until the age of 6, you didn't want any sweets. So they said, if we ask you, would you like a piece of chocolate or would you like a sausage? I always would take the sausage. So I wasn't that much into sweets, but I liked food even though. So, and thinking about this whole history, when I think back, I'm now 64, I'm turning 65 this year. My first weight problem started in puberty, and I guess this was not really a change in my diet, but I got this birth control pill. This was in in the early 70s, sometime 75. I think they were not as low dose limited with their ingredients like they had been at that time. So I exploded. I took those birth control pill and gained weight so fast. Well, and then I struggled, of course. So I'm
And then it just kind of stayed on and got more and more from there.
yes, yes, you can say it was like this. I was never really heavy overweight, luckily, but it was never an an easy way to have this weight control. So I started a diet, then I lost weight. It was never that much. It was maybe about 5 kilo or sometimes 10 kilo. And I thought, whoa, it's very good. But I regained it all the time. And because I thought like we were taught, and that you always have to eat less. So the calories, it must be a calorie deficit. You have to move a little bit more. Of course, I did this. But as soon as you go back to normal, well, I gained it all back and maybe a little bit more. So this was through whole my life. And keto was, I think it started with Atkins, where this came to my mind, and I thought, oh, that might be a possibility. But of course, Atkins, it was the worst you can do for your body. It will ruin your kidneys. It will give you a heart attack. It's not sustainable, dangerous, and of course, yeah, I was just skeptical. I knew it worked, but I didn't really trust it really. So, but anyhow, so I think during my life, at least 5 times, I lost 10 kilos and gained all in all 55. So it was just no difference. So, and then there was last year. Last year was a little bit, no, I should tell something before. So because I never was this really sweet, so I didn't really like sweets or so. I didn't eat that much from this sweet stuff, but I loved carbs. So I loved pasta. I loved pizza. I just I love meat because I grew up this way. My father was at least a few years in his life, he was a butcher. So he knew about good meat. He knew about fatty meat. I grew up with this. My parents mostly cooked from scratch. So there wasn't many other stuff, ingredients or so. So I always like this kind of food, which is then easy to do keto because I don't like vegetables that much. I don't like fruits that much. I can eat them, but I don't. But it took me really a long time to realize that if you eat pasta, that there is no difference in your body than you eat a piece of chocolate. It just takes longer to digest, but the chemical process in your body is the same. So this took a long time until I realized, of course, I gain weight if I go back to these kind of foods because it's just sugar in a different coat. So it's not any different. And I wished I had known that before, but anyhow, it is like it is. And then let me think. Yes, exactly. So I was a kind of low carb, not very much, with a little bit overweight. So not that much. It was everything okay. But then I went for a checkup in 1921 or 20, round about that time. And there my doctor, he asked me when he did the checkup, so do you drink alcohol regular? So do you drink? And I said, no, I never do. But he said, you have a fatty liver. So I wasn't that heavy overweight. I didn't have any problems by then, but I had a fatty liver. So there I started thinking I have to change things, and I really reduced carbs. I didn't really lose weight because keto is difficult if you try to somehow manage half a slice of bread in between, or maybe a glass of wine once a month or so. It just doesn't work. But I got rid of the fatty liver. So this was fine. And then last year, I was lucky and I could take off from work for 3 months. They call this year sabbatical. I think you have these things too, where you can just stay off from work for 3 months, can go on a vacation or so, and then come back. And this time I spent with my friend, my female school friend. We went on a trip and we ate really unhealthy. So because she has a complete different lifestyle than I have, and I thought, well, it's not really social if you start, no, I don't eat breakfast, or no, I don't eat the pasta, or so I just thought for these 3 months, it doesn't matter. And I did enjoyed my time. It was everything okay. And when I came back home, I realized that my ankles hurt in the morning when I get up. So the first steps, they felt like you are a little bit stiff and you have to somehow get stretched. And during the day, it was no problem. But this was one thing I realized, and I realized I gained 3 kilo through this 3 month of different eating. And this was then the start, looking at YouTube for recipes, starting seeing carnivore. And I started last year in June. And I was really strict for 30 days, really, really strict. I lost, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 kilograms. But the most impressing things were just how I felt. So a couple of days I didn't feel good. Of course, I had my, yeah, this addiction had to be overcome, and I had this hangover, whatever it was. But I think after 5 days, I felt great. So this is, and this is since then I feel just great. So I can't say it differently. And now I have to just look. What everything is perfect, because I wrote this down, but you all people thought about that. I have to say, beside these little aching in my ankles, which I thought might be a kind of arthritis or something, but a kind of inflammation, beside that I really felt healthy. So I'm not anxious. I'm not depressed. I'm a very happy person. I'm independent, lucky. People say about me, I'm diplomatic, I'm calm, everything like this. So I thought I am healthy. That was important for me, and then of course this pain in my ankles. This stopped after 3 days. Then this was gone. It wasn't bad, so I could walk. Of course, there was no problem yet now during the day, but it was completely gone when I woke up. I knew from my kids that I snore, but I don't snore anymore, so this was gone too. um, Later on, just because I'm doing this now, how long, for 10 months, my nails got better, they look better. I sometimes had headaches. I didn't have one headache since then. It was never serious headache, but I would say maybe 4 or 5 times a year I had a headache. But since then I don't have any headaches anymore. Um, well, the fatty liver is gone. I had one checkup just short time ago. I had dry skin, which is not anymore. Um, I have no sore muscles after a big workout. I don't do sports that much, but I have a big garden, and this has to be, yeah, I have to do some work there. It would be a jungle without. So I have to work there. And just this 2 weeks ago, I had 2 days in a row where I really worked hard, and there were no sore muscles. So usually I do one day really working hard, and the next day I tell me, oh no, I don't want to go. I just want to stay and, yeah, treat my sore muscles, something like that. So this is not there anymore. I have all in all more energy, but it's not. I did. I never had these really serious lows, where you start after lunch and then you just think, oh, now you can sleep, or if you don't eat lunch, that you in the late afternoon you think you're gonna starve. I don't have this anymore, so it's really constant, so one level through the whole day. And there are days when I have meetings, or I for business I have to travel or something like that. This I only eat in the evening, and it doesn't really matter. Of course, I would like to eat because it's a habit to eat, but it's not like I need to eat to keep up my energy. So that's gone. Now I've just my. Of course, I lost weight. That worked. I started last year in May with 73 kilograms, and right now I'm at 60 kilograms, and I'm
Oh
one,
wow.
yeah, 1 meter and 65 is my height.
Mm.
So it's okay. Also, yeah, I'm not worried about it, and it's pretty. It stays like that. I could say since November I didn't lose anymore. It's just like this. Yes.
73 to 60 kilos. You must be feeling pretty light on your feet now.
Of course, of course. So it's like I said, I always thought I was very healthy. I didn't really feel this 73 kilo in case of, oh, what a weight I carry with me every day, because I could do all the things I wanted to do. I was never limited in anything what I can do, and I somehow believed about 70 kilos to around about 70, because I gained these 3 kilos last year when I went with my friend. But around about 70 kilos, I always came back to that. I thought, okay, this might be my genetic set point. Who knows? I don't know. But I didn't feel really bad. But it was, even with 70 kilos, it was not, I just eat until I'm full, and then a couple of hours I eat again. It was always thinking about. It was always thinking about calories, and it was always thinking about, oh, yesterday evening you had a big plate of pasta. Maybe you should skip the breakfast and just see that the overall there are not too many calories. So it was never this natural, you just eat when you are hungry, you stop when you're full, and it's fine for how long ever. This I never experienced through this, yeah, through decades. It's strange. And when I ate like that, just gained the weight back. So it was never natural, I would say. Yes. Well, and that is, I think, the situation now. And I just feel great. I don't think, no, yeah, well, we should never say never, but my goal is to never change this diet anymore. I got a little bit, but I do this since 4 or 5 months already. Maybe I'm 95 to 97% carnivore. So there might be the situation when I'm out with my colleagues or something, and we just go for dinner. No, there is no plain meat on my table. There might be some green veggies on the side or so, and I eat of this too. Or when I know I won't get the possibility to eat something healthy, or just meat, then I might take a small box of nuts or so with me and might eat that. But this is occasionally. Maybe I try to think about that maybe once every 2 weeks. Mostly I'm with animal products. I
Right.
eat dairy, I eat cheese, not much, but I do because I like it. And I eat Greek yogurt. I like this too.
Right.
So, but beside that, um, and I don't feel a kind of addiction when I eat those foods, like a little bit of lettuce or a little bit of veggies, whatever. I don't eat beans or something like that. I really don't like that. And for me, it's just so crazy because, but I never really thought deeply into that, how how misled we are. So that we eat these vegetables, that we think we have to get vegetarian or vegan, something like that. And then I think about dogs. I have a dog. I would never think about and tell or feed my dog greens every day. I never would do that. So we are fine with those dogs, even though they are so similar in their digestion systems. We have many things in common, but we don't do that. Even though I think some vegetarians would like to, but it's just crazy how we just believe the system or just believe whoever tells these things, science, whatever it is. And yeah, and it just feels so good to eat this way. It's so easy.
Yeah. So what is your typical day's menu look like?
I mostly have 2 meals a day, which is a very late breakfast or early lunch. This is mostly 2 eggs, 3 slices of bacon, and cheese, a little bit, 1 slice of cheese. This I like very much. And in the evening, whatever happens, it might be chicken. Mostly it's beef, and sometimes once or twice a week, it's fish. So I like salmon. Um, well, well, that's it. That's it.
Right. And it's really amazing, right? How you can eat this very similar kind of menu every day, but it never gets boring.
No, that's the funny thing. It never gets boring. I really like it. It feels so wonderful to just consume fatty meat, or maybe butter or something like that without a bad feeling. Always we were raised like this. Oh, not too much fat, not too much saturated fat. I cut, of course, the seed oils. There might be sometimes olive oil. Yes, I do this sometimes, but not that much. And but it well, I can tell another story. For example, because I had my checkup now just a few weeks ago. It's in Germany. You just can go once a year. I go every second year just to check up how they do blood work and just say if everything is okay. And my doctor, and this is the story I hear over and over again. So he did all the checkup, he did the blood work, and everything is okay. Everything is okay. Beside the LDL. So the LDL raised. And and so there is no, he does this ultrasound thing to see if you have stuffed arteries or something like that. This is okay. My movement is okay. I think pretty healthy for my age. So, and then finally, when he talked to me about the results, he told me, he said, "You are really a healthy woman," he said. You are fine for your age. He said, "But I really think you need to take statins now because your LDL is so high." And then I asked him, and and I told him, I said, "I'm almost 65. I never had any drugs beside this birth control pill, but I never took any medication for a long time. Of course, there might be an illness or something if you have an infect or something like that." I said, I don't want to take these things forever, every morning or every day." And he said, "Yes, but this is the first prevention," he said. "It's the first prevention. So you don't have to do it, but I really would recommend it." He said, "In case you would have any disease, high blood pressure or pre-diabetes, I don't know, whatever, then he would say that is now I have the second prevention, then it's more important, then you should do that." And but with me, it's first prevention, he said. And then I asked him, I said, "So the side effects of the statins, they are sore muscles, they are maybe, I don't know, demens. Do you say it like that? Demens, or maybe pre-diabetes, which would maybe not happen because I eat almost no carbs. But anyhow, I say I take three risks to prevent another risk. Doesn't make sense." And he said, "Yes, of course I can understand that you argue, or that your arguments are like that, but I have to tell you this. And if you don't do, you have to sign that I told you about it, that I gave you this information so that he's free in case something happens." Well,
It's very funny that he presented the information like that to you. "You're a very healthy woman. Please
yeah,
take some poison."
yeah. Yes,
It's just
it's really funny. It's really funny. Yeah, but what I also realized, and this is what other people experience too, is you are so excited about this health benefit when you eat like this. I would like to shout out to everybody. I would like to convince everybody, and of course my colleagues or coworkers. I go once or twice into our office. These are days where I have to think about how I eat, because we go into our canteen or casino, how you say it, and there we all have lunch. Of course, is this important to socialize and things like that. And then I have this piece of meat and little bit of salad just because it looks nicer than just a piece of meat. And they always look at my plate, and they always they ask, "Do you still eat like this? Isn't this unhealthy?" And when I tell them I feel great, they just don't believe it. And they sit in front of me having weight problems, having autoimmune issues, taking metformin, and two of them are obese. And they look at my plate and they say, "Isn't this unhealthy?" And they just can't switch this thinking. It's kind of so sad. I would like, and I told them, just try and see what happens. You can stop every day. If you feel bad in the morning, just take your coffee with sugar or something like that. It's no problem.
it's quite again, it's a very funny situation, because they look at you like, this is like some kind of black magic, because you're feeling better, but you should be getting unhealthier.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
on the other hand, they're sitting there going, "I'm eating the healthy food and
Yeah,
I'm sicker than ever." And
yeah,
it's like no one ever puts two and two together and goes, "Oh, okay, so maybe what I'm doing is wrong."
yes, yes.
Hmm.
So it's well, I think the only maybe little thing we can do is just right through our appearance, because we are eating like this and being with other people, that somehow we are kind of good example, that they might think about it. If I'm not dead in between the next 2 years, they might think, whoa, maybe it's a good thing to eat like that. But you
Yeah.
never know.
It's
And they have, of course, they have all kinds of reasons why they can't do that, because they are on medication, because they have all the immune issues, because they they have pre-diabetes, and it might be very dangerous if they stop now, because they can fall into a coma or something like that. So they have all kinds of reasons. They like fruits, yes, of course. Yeah, I might think it's we all like a kind of fruit. Me not so much, but yes, I would like to have an apple, maybe. But if it's worth, it's not worth it to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, it tastes great, but the ramifications,
Yes.
the consequences of eating it are not that good, you know?
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. So I think you're right. It's just like lead by example. And at some point, people will go, okay, I've
Yeah.
tried everything else. It's time to try this because everyone that's eating this way seems to be doing well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think, because with all the things YouTube puts into my feed, whatever, you never see somebody talking about, oh, I did carnivore
Mhm.
and I feel so bad. And I think
Right.
it would be like this. Of course, there are many doctors, scientists, they say, oh, if you eat only meat, that might be dangerous. But you don't see the real people who eat like this
Right. Right.
and
Right.
say they struggle and they can't, they got unhealthy. Maybe they couldn't eat like this forever, what, for whatever reasons. I don't think so. I don't know. But you don't see, I got sick because I ate carnivore. I didn't see one where it really was like that. So what I think, um, of course, I look at my kids. So I have twin girls. They are 38. They both um, live healthy. So they live a kind of low carb, but it's it's uh, a lot of vegetables. So and one of my daughters, she really has one autoimmune disease since she's 2 years old. I try to pronounce it correctly. Neurodermatitis. Is it something like that? Like a rash on the skin. And
Yeah. Dermatitis. Yeah. Yeah.
and if she is really low carb, if she really tries to get all the sugar out, it it's she can deal with it. So she doesn't need any medication or so. But it never goes away completely. So she lives with this for more than 30 years now. And I wish she would once try and see if this might be a difference. The positive thing, no, it's not really positive, but because she had this, and I'm pretty sure she got this. So when they were born, she was the one where they gave antibiotics right away, because they thought she had some water in her lung, and to just prevent an infection, they gave her, right when she was born, they gave her antibiotics for 3 days. I couldn't do anything against it, because it was in the hospital. And so the difference is they are one, identical twins. And the one girl who didn't get antibiotics, she is healthy, everything is fine. and she had struggled or struggles with this disease, with this neurodermatitis, with this rash, whatever it is, her whole life. But what happened, of course, I tried to somehow uh, feed them healthy. So they at that time it was 86, so late 80s, beginning 90s. The doctors told me, yeah, you just have to look for the ingredients in the food. And I shouldn't take foods where they have chemicals in, like to keep them longer, a longer shelf
Like
life.
like
Yes,
preservatives and things like that. Yeah.
yes. But of course, they had sugar. So I didn't think about the whole thing about sugar. And Germany is a bread country, so we had bread every day. Of course, it was a good bread because of the ingredients. We just looked. I sometimes bake bread myself. But if I had known this before, maybe I could have prevented something, or maybe I could have made it easier for her. We don't know. But now she
Yeah.
has to make her own decisions about eating.
Mm. Yeah. But yeah, going back to 1986, no one was thinking about this way of eating in 1986.
No,
Everyone was thinking about low fat and, you know,
seed oils.
aerobics, wearing leg warmers and stuff like that. That's
Yes,
that's all we were
exactly,
thinking about back
exactly.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm just I think I feel better health wise, uh, in case of my strength, in case of my brain. I almost feel better than I was in the 40s, because it's more leveled. There are no ups and downs. I just wake up every morning. I don't need an alarm clock or so, and I just look up and think, so let's see what we are going to do now. I'm very stress resistant, I can say, if you can say that like this. So nothing really makes me angry or so. Of course, there are things they are not that good. Maybe there are things I have to put my foot on, but it's just in a very calm way. So it doesn't bother me if people are upset about me or so, because I think, okay, I'm sorry for them that they have such emotions, because I really can level down. And it's just a wonderful life. I'm I'm just thankful for every day. And I think when I feel like 40, I don't expect to get 150. I don't think we all will somehow get weak. Maybe not ill, but weak. So we won't live forever because of this diet. But as long as every day is like this, it's just a wonderful life.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So Marita, if people want to reach out to you, do you have any way of getting in contact?
Well, one possibility is through email. So my email address, I think you got it. And I'm on Facebook, but not, you can contact me through Facebook, and we'll just have a look how things work. So I have no website, no, nothing exciting.
No, no worries. Well, I'll link to your email in the show notes.
Yeah.
Marita, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, I thank you very much, because I will continue to watch your videos. So I just like it.